Welcome to another day in the Maya. Happy Third Line Day. Third Line days are excellent for being resilient, adaptable, mutative, and for figuring out what did not work or what does not work. Because on Third Line days, it's one of those laws. What can go wrong will go wrong. You spill your coffee. Your Camtasia crashes repeatedly as you try to edit the neutrino transit brief. It's just one of those things. And if you're a third line yourself, you bang into all of those things that could go horribly, horribly wrong. But guess what? We third lines, we're built to handle the shocks of life. We are built to adapt. We are built to discover. We are built to be determined to try again and to try again and to try again. So remember that third line when you find yourself feeling disgruntled, disappointed, and challenged in your life. Remember, you're built for these difficulties. You have everything that you need inside of you to rise to the occasion, to get back up from being punched in the face, and to declare to the world, this does not work, because you must teach from your mistake. If you do not, if you try to hide, if you try to lie, if you are not honest, then what really have you learned? And how really can you reach across the chasm, the void, into the unknown, and give the value of the benefit of what you have learned to others? If you are not in integrity with admitting the failure of the past mistakes and rising up to say, and here is what I learned, your sacrifice was for nothing. This is the right angle cross of Maya from a third line perspective. And you can see gate 42, the personality, expression, and life force in your design, and the core conditioning of 70% of the neutrino stream that is bombarding us today. Here we have the gate of increase, the gate of growth, and this is where we get the third line descriptor of trial and error. In times of increase, mistakes are a natural part of the process. I'm going to read that again because all of you who are third lines, remember, in times of increase, mistakes are a natural part of the process. Mars exalts this line. The energy and assertion to turn mistakes into advantages. The power to accept mistakes as part of growth. And Moon detriments this line. A moodiness that in error may succumb to brooding and unnecessary caution. Mistakes give power to moodiness and caution. So now this gate 42, as we mentioned earlier in the week, it is a format energy. These gates down here between the root center and the sacral center are format energies. What that means is they format their respective circuitries, and they affect the entire body graph. When somebody has an activation like this in their own design, it is very important to recognize that this is their formatting of their process. And we cannot have growth without mistakes. Take one, take two, like a clapperboard. Miss, M-I-S-S. Takes, T-A-K-E-S. Mistakes. The world looks at trial and error as a detriment. But in reality, take a look. The power to accept mistakes as a part of growth is your gift, if you have this in your design. And in fact, all third lines have this in their design, the power to accept mistakes as part of growth. And what else happens? Mistakes give power to moodiness and caution. All third line beings were trained to avoid mistakes. Think back to you when you were a child and how your parents might have told you, "What's wrong with you? Why are you always breaking things? Why are you always doing things wrong?" And in fact, the most important thing you can do to yourself if you're a third line adult, or for your child if you have a third line child, is to, instead of discussing the mistakes as a personal flaw, to exalt those mishaps, mistakes, as something that can be learned from, because this is the only way we learn about the material plane. The third line is the material line. It is where we bump into, bang into those things that do not work. So instead of, I did something wrong again. This thing doesn't work. That thing doesn't work. Let's ask ourselves instead, what did you learn? The most important thing I can give you if you are a third line, and wherever you have third lines, is what did you learn? Remember that. Happy birthday, right angle crosses of Maya 3-5. I love you. I want the best for you. And if you insist on third lining your way to being downtrodden and to always negating and hating yourself, you'll never find the beauty and the wonderment of what it is to be an awake third line, an awake 3-5. Okay, here on the third line, it's a great day to preach. The third line, grounded here in the 32, the gate of continuity. This is duration. Third line, see the lack of continuity. So Mercury exalts this line, indecision and persistent reevaluation that only because of its basic intelligence manages to endure. In other words, indecision in times of transformation. Jupiter detriments this line. An over-reliance on traditionally legitimized standards that in times of change can be totally out of step and suffer unexpected humiliation. In other words, a lack of instinct in times of transformation. Now, right angle crosses of Maya, many of them might have the other side of the channel here, where we have a deep potential for profound change in one's life, transformation in one's life, because that is what the channel is about, a design of being driven to transform, to rise up. And this is about the material plane here, the 54, 32, 44, 26, 21, 45. That is our stream of capitalism. So it is about hard work that transforms one's circumstances, the advantages of transforming one's circumstances to the tribe that you are a part of, to your people. This is not selfish. This is not self-centered. This is a rising up. The rising tide floats all boats here. All right. We still have that channel of structuring, as you know. Let's go check out the moon, again in a 6 line at this moment, the abysmal, the gate of perseverance. 6 line here reads confusion. So the moon is giving us a focus to learn about the state that exists when momentum outstrips awareness. Mars exalts this line, driving blind, and given Mars's energy and determination, often blind luck. The power to persevere that makes no sense. And Jupiter detriments this line, a tendency in confusion to withdraw, rather than accept the condition and continue to persevere. The power in confusion to caution, rather than saying yes.